you like to come into court then, please?
Okay.
Come this way.
No thanks. I need to clarify my standing first.
Okay, well if you come this way and you can...
well, you don't need to go into the dock. You can come and stand in front of the chairs over here.
Okay. I don't need to go in there, or what?
Not into the dock.
Right.
This is a motoring matter, but would you stand in front of the blue chairs just over there?
Okay. Do you mind if I go over there? No.
Yes, go over there.
Okay.
You just stand and face the judge.
No.
Just before you identify, can I tell you that I've read all the correspondence, seen the emails.
Yeah.
You kindly sent in a photograph of yourself as well,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm looking at.
Okay.
Right? All I want to know at the moment is how you would like to be addressed. Would you like to be addressed as Kent of the family Bengtson?
That's fine. Just call me Kent.
I call you Kent.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now, the position here is this. You know that you've been summoned with 2 road traffic offences arising from the same incident, all right? One matter of speeding, and the other matter of not having a licence. The date in question, bear with me please, is the 9th of January of this year in Southampton.
Yeah.
That you were driving a Vauxhall Zafira Y601TBP over a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit on the A3024, and then the other matter which is linked to it is that at the same time not being in possession of the appropriate licence authorising you to drive the Vauxhall Zafira. Okay?
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
there's one question coming from the court this morning, which is this: that in relation to either or both of those charges, are you pleading guilty or not guilty?
Well, as I've said numerous times in my correspondence, I'd be happy to plead guilty if the constabulary can show that I was acting in the capacity of Mr. Kent Bengtson, the fiction, and you know, as something that stands under the Acts of Parliament, you know, and that no one has proven it to me yet and addressed this issue, and until then I don't see a point in confessing to anything or plea anything.
I call you Kent. Can I explain this to you? The prosecution case is that your physical body, your hands on the steering wheel and your feet on the pedals,
Right.
was motoring along in a car on the 9th of January.
Yeah, I never denied that.
Right. Now, all I want to be clear on is this. If you accept that, and if you accept that you were breaking speed, and if you accept that you do not have a licence, then I can deal with that as what we at least call a guilty plea. And that is, to my mind, acceptable. There's nothing confusing about it, and I can get on with the case. If you're saying that it's any different to that, then let me know, because if I'm not satisfied that this is a clear guilty plea in the terms of this court, then I will enter a not guilty plea for you.
Yeah, well, we have an issue here of capacity, and you see, I believe this society is, you know, on top we have God, or the creator of the universe, and then we have man, and then man created government and laws and things like that. Now, am I not a man, and how did I become a subject of other people without my consent? Or did I give my consent in that case? When did I give?
Can I explain this to you?
Yeah.
I'm not going to embark on any form of philosophical discussion.
Well.
The allegation against you is that you were driving that car in the same way that you're holding that folder in front of you now.
Yeah.
Now, the issue is simply this. If you accept that you, in your body, were driving that car and that it was going faster than the speed limit and you don't have a licence, if that is capable of agreement, I'll get on and deal with the case. If anything less than that is capable of being agreed, I'm going to have to adjourn this matter for a fully contested trial. But I must warn you that if the matter does go to trial, and if you are convicted, then number one, that will make your sentence worse because you won't get credit for a guilty plea.
Right.
And number two, it will involve inflated costs being applied for against you from the Crown Prosecution Service.
Yeah.
And broadly speaking, if I can put it in the round, it's going to probably make matters cost twice as much or more as they would have to have costed today.
Well, you know, I would have saved a lot of money by just paying in the first place. and I'm here because of principles, and you know, I see the society going in a direction that I don't agree with, and you know,
That's not the debate
where
in this court.
but
You
if
want me to deal with this matter?
I'm quite happy because you've been very civil to me. You've been very civil to
Yes.
me, and I'm quite happy to have you deal with this matter. But you know, who did I harm? Who did I put in danger or anything like that
Well,
by
we
driving
deal
that
with
way?
that at another stage of the proceedings.
Right.
But in the first instance, do you then accept that you were driving this car faster than 30 miles an hour? What is the prosecution allegations to speed?
36, sir.
Right, so it's at a very moderate level, but 36 miles an hour or thereabouts. And do you accept that you don't currently hold a driving license?
No, I don't. Well, I don't own. The drive license I have belongs to the Swedish government.
Yes.
So, and if I had a UK license, it would belong to the DVLA, I believe. It wouldn't be my personal.
You're not in possession of any license that you can produce to the court.
I am, and no one has asked me for any.
Well,
So I don't know where the where the prosecutor got that from, but.
Can I indicate this to you? There is a printout from DVLA, the Driver Vehicle Licensing Agency,
Yeah.
that indicates that you don't hold the current license.
Okay. Right.
Unless you're able to produce one, really that's it.
Okay. Would you like to see my Swedish license? It doesn't have an expiry date.
How long have you lived in this country?
I've been here in and out of it, but I've been here for 14 years.
Well, that's highly unlikely to help you.
Okay.
If you want to produce it, you better produce it. The
Well,
license.
If you.
Well, let me see.
As I said.
Miss Fittle,
Sir.
I'm absolutely neither qualified nor in a position to say whether the possession of that Swedish license, which appears to be current, would or would not satisfy UK road traffic law at the time of this incident. I imagine that you're not in that position either.
Can I ask something?
Well, just wait a minute. Please,
Sure.
while it's entirely a matter for the Crown as to whether this matter can proceed on the basis if there is admission to the speeding, or whether there is any way of deciding today whether that licence.
So what I'm not sure is whether a Swedish licence fits into the category that allows you to drive here, or if after a year or 2 years, whatever it might be, you
Yes.
need the new licence. I'm
Well,
quite sure one of my colleagues knows whether Sweden fits in there. I'm not 100% convinced about the licence.
Well, if you're not convinced, I'm not asking to be convinced.
No.
At the moment, it is simply inconclusive. It
I would
appears to
think
be
so.
a European Communities licence. I'm assuming that Sweden's part of the European Communities.
I think so, sir.
I think so.
Yes.
Well, Kent, it's
Yes.
a matter for you. We're not satisfied, or the Crown aren't satisfied, that that licence covers you.
Right.
It's unclear.
Okay.
Primarily, there are simply two approaches here. If you are not going to assert that that licence covers you, then I'm happy to enter a record a guilty plea to both charges. If you are saying that that licence may cover you, then a not guilty plea must be recorded whilst it's investigated and whilst it's considered.
Well, let's first address the issue. You say that within the UK. Now, when you say the UK, what do you mean?
I'm not going to enter into that discussion.
Well, it isn't.
I'm simply asking you whether you want to assert in your own defence that that licence covered you to drive the vehicle at the time.
As far as I know, it does.
Right? Well, then that must be a not guilty plea. We'll record a not guilty plea. In relation to the speeding matter, which is to say driving at 36 miles an hour over a 30 mile an hour limit, Are you pleading guilty or not guilty?
I think I remember reading a maximum law saying no one is bound to witness against himself or bear witness against himself
You don't
except
have
before
to.
God.
It's entirely a matter for you.
Right.
Some people do come in, you see, and say that they're guilty if they've
Well,
said-
I've already in my correspondence put my point across that I don't deny that I was driving that car. I am denying that I was acting in the capacity of the entity that you are prosecuting.
Do you accept that you were driving that car at 36 miles an hour?
I do, yes.
In
But
the 30 mile an hour limit?
I did that in the capacity of a private man of this earth,
All right.
right?
The position is this, that were it not for the issue on the licence, I would try and make some more progress. But given that we know that there has to be a not guilty plea in relation to the licence, because it may cover you, I'm going to have recorded at the moment also a not guilty plea in relation to the speeding matter, on the basis that your remarks are equivocal. Or am I about to be told something else?
So on balance, I have my doubts about the licence, but if in some way, shape or form an admission was taken to the speeding, I think the right course of action from my point of view would be accept that as a suitable outcome.
All right. Well, I'll rephrase what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
Do you accept that you were the person, the body behind the wheel of the car that was driving at 36 miles an hour in a 30 mile an hour limit?
Well, I don't object to that wording a bit because I consider myself to be a spirit in a
Yes.
body. So, my body is my possession,
Yes.
just like my car. So, and it seems like it's my body that's the issue here, or a name, or something like that.
I'm
and
not concerned about that. All I want to know is whether you were the person who was controlling the car.
I was controlling that car, yes.
And you accept it was going faster than the speed.
Well, yes, I do, and I probably had I, you know, I had my intention. This is a foreign city to me. I was looking for an address, and I might have gone over the speed limit.
Well,
that's all.
fine. That's
You know.
perfectly well understood. Have a seat for a moment.
Okay.
We'll record a guilty plea in relation to the speeding matter. You have a seat.
Okay.
And you decided to offer no further evidence in relation to the licence matter. Is that right?
Thank you.
In circumstances, yes.
Right. Do I need to know anything more about it from the Crown's point of view?
So probably not, unless there are any questions. I think it's the road name in the charge before you, sir. It's probably the only thing I could add.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear that
No.
last remark.
She asked whether the road name was in the charge, but no.
Well, I mean, the reality is this, isn't it? It's a 36
Yes.
mile an hour issue, 30 mile an hour limit. Is there any, there's no other suggestion as to specific danger or
No, not at all,
road
sir.
conditions or
It
anything
was
like that?
6 o'clock in the early evening, May breaking way. So cost
All right.
application, I believe traffic matters is currently £60.
Yes. All right. Bear with me. Now we have a printout. My recollection is not as to whether the points are current or not.
It's for 3 years, so from the date of offence, I'll just check the
Yes,
date.
I haven't got the dates in front of me.
Sorry.
Oh, here we are.
From the 9th of January 2013. So the earlier one, sir, is gone. The relevant matter for today's call
Yes.
is a speeding matter on the 10th of June 2012. The defendant was awarded 3 penalty
Yes.
points for a speeding matter,
All right.
and the convicting date was the 11th of February 2013.
All right. Do you want to just stand up a moment, please?
Okay. Do you mind if I stand up?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to say anything more about the matter itself, or do you want to tell me something about your financial position?
Yeah, I want to say something about the matter itself.
Go on then.
I believe we're all equal before the law, aren't we?
Yes.
So now I've been asking repeatedly the Hampshire Constabulary to answer certain questions, and I have not had them answered.
No.
And I believe this is a very good place to get them answered.
Well, I don't know if it is, to be honest with you. I think the reality is this, that if you, in future, I think the first thing you should do is check out whether your Swedish driving licence is valid or not, and I think that's incumbent upon you to make those inquiries in due course as you go forward. And the second is this, that if you drive within the speed limits, you'll never have to have any more correspondence with
Of course.
Now, tell me something about your financial position. Do you earn any money? Are you working?
I'm working, yes.
What do you do?
I'm a carpenter.
Okay, are you self-employed?
Yeah.
Can you give me a brief indication of what you expect to earn in a week or a month?
This looks like this is leading up to to some kind of amount that's going to be demanded
All
of
I
me.
want to know is what it is reasonable to expect you to pay by way of what will be a modest financial penalty.
Right.
If you don't wish to tell me, you don't have to, but it might be in your interest, rather than me having to deem that you earn about £400 a week, you see.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
I need to bring in about 2,000 a month to meet my bills,
all right,
and I'm there about.
all right.
Okay.
It gives me an idea, that's all I need.
Yeah.
In the circumstances, taking into account that this is what my guidelines call a Band A fine, taking into account that I give you credit for your guilty plea and that we've resolved the matter today, notwithstanding the previous correspondence, had you not pleaded guilty, the financial penalty based upon what you've just told me would have been in the order of £200 on the basis of your guilty plea.
Well, I didn't really plead guilty.
Well,
You interpreted it
I've
as that.
accepted that on your behalf, Kent, and in
Yeah.
the circumstances I've come to the conclusion, rounding matters frankly down in your favour and taking into account the costs and the surcharge, that there will be a fine of £100.
Okay.
There will be costs. Will they apply for any sum? Was it £60?
Yes, sir.
£60 and government surcharge of £20. Now, the ultimate damage, from your point of view, that is therefore £180. Now, can you pay that today?
I possibly could. Could I have that in writing, please? Or, yeah?
You will certainly get it in writing.
Yeah.
If necessary, that can be put on a small piece of paper and given to you now, or a notification can be sent to you in the post of the result of proceedings.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be the better way of dealing with it.
You can pick the printed form out before he leaves the building. So
Right. And what would that be, from the court office?
from the court office downstairs, just before he leaves
All right.
by the
If you
exit.
make inquiries to the court office, the question, Kent, is
Yeah.
this: can you pay £180 today before you leave the building to finish this off?
The question is, do I feel it would be moral for me to do that? That is my
I'll tell you what
dilemma.
I'm going to do.
I could pay that amount, yes.
Well, I'm going to give you the opportunity to reflect on that, and I'm
Yeah.
going to say this. That will be paid in full within 14 days.
Mm.
Now, I warn you this. It's in your interest to simply pay it today. If you fail to pay it within 14 days, the full sum of £180 will be enforced against you through the fines office, all right?
Okay.
And that will mean a number of factors could come into play. It could be sent out to bailiffs. You could have people knocking on your door saying that you in fact now owe twice as much as I've originally imposed. All those kinds of issues. It
Yeah.
is overwhelmingly in your interest to pay it and forget about it. But I will give you 14 days to pay. If you don't pay it, it will be enforced against you. All right? Your license, or at least your driving record of DVLA, will be endorsed with 3 penalty points. That is all. The hearing is now concluded. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.